Hey, it's Mark Ferguson with Investor More. We're back at the laundromat, and right away I noticed something a little off. So we had lots of parking issues here before with the DMV next door always using our spots. We put in these signs, and that pretty much fixed it. Well, one of our signs is now laying on the ground, so someone must have run it over. But the other signs are still working well. Now, we added some new machines. We've had some frustrating weeks, had some good weeks, and we'll see what happens this week with coin collection and if there's any more frustrations. So last week was pretty frustrating for me. We added some new machines, fixed a bunch of machines, and just right away, more machines broke. And so people kept calling, kept having issues. Then we had a down week sales-wise. It's like, well, this is just not much fun. So the last week, I don't think I had one person call me. We have a Google voice mail where they can call or text. And so that was nice. Now we still have some broken machines, as you can see. But no new broken machines, which is awesome. We've had a short week with Thanksgiving, so I didn't have time to really work on anything. And we had some really good news too, and that's it. These 80-pound washers, which are some of the new machines we got, I had to empty twice this week because the coin boxes got too full. So that was a really good sign too. So last week was pretty frustrating, pretty annoying. This week so far is much better. We also took more money out of the change machine on Monday, which means hopefully there's more money total coming in this week. We took out $11.65 last week, so that was good to see. And today there is not many quarters gone. And this is something I didn't think about earlier in the week. I'm like, oh, we might do really, really good this week after a really good weekend. It's Thanksgiving, and not a lot of people do laundry on Thanksgiving. A lot of people are traveling, so whoops. We definitely had a good weekend, but this week itself has been really, really slow. So we may not have done very good this week, but we'll chalk that up to a holiday. The vending machine did not do very good at all. That was much less than we've had in there. But the soap machine actually has a lot less soap gone than we had last week. So there's always trade-offs and pros and cons. But the soap machine, the vending machine, is definitely not where most of the money is. Most of the money is in the washers and dryers. These are just kind of conveniences for customers, pay for themselves and maybe a little bit extra. So it's still fun to count them and see what you have. And then this week I also brought my son along, who's 13 now, and he's off for Thanksgiving break, and he keeps wanting to earn more money. And so I bring him with me to the laundromats once in a while on the weekends if I go. And today he came to help me clean, and I don't really clean this laundromat, but our other one, stock candy, soap. So it's actually a pretty decent help to have him around. Not much from the vending machine at all. We had an extra $1 in there, but that was much less than normal. And soap, this is kind of like opposite of what happened last week. There was almost no soap sold last week, but a decent amount of candy. It's always weird, the laundromats. But it was nice having my son there, because just having two people there and doing different tasks made it go way, way faster. We spent hardly any time working there, so that was nice. So now we're going to go straight to counting the money. That's not a bad start. And like I said, the weekend was really good. We had to empty the 80-pound washers because they were too full, and they're not that full now. And like my count might be kind of weird because I usually split up the front machines with the back machines because I have to empty them twice a week. But now I'm emptying these 80-pounders twice a week too. So we might just kind of divide it, big machines versus small machines from now on. Although we still have one 50-pounder back there. So anyway, but the total amount's what matters. That was a good box. That was quite a bit, so that's good to see. After counting up the cash that we had $445 in cash during the week, which is probably the least amount of cash we've collected in months and months and months during the week. So I think Thanksgiving definitely hurt us. Just looking at my cameras, there was almost nobody there on Thanksgiving, and not many people there today, which is the Friday after Thanksgiving either, and usually Fridays are like one of our busiest times. So a little bit of money in that before that one broke last week. So maybe next week will be crazy with people coming back, and maybe this weekend will be crazy. I guess we'll find out and see. Now, there's still like I said, a decent amount of money in these machines, so it's not like awful. And that could be, I heard some water running. Like 80-pound machine might have the valve. I thought we replaced that valve, but anyway, like I said, there's always something. But even with, Thanksgiving happening, I think we're still going to be okay. We're not going to set records. We're not going to, do awesome, but we're not going to do awful either. And we'll see what these. That's pretty minimal. So something else I was thinking about. I bought big machines, added big machines, so I wanted to give people more options. We bought bigger dryers too, and we know some people and customers say they used other laundromats because they have those bigger machines, and they'd love to stay at ours and just use ours. So we got them, and they were very happy. But the bigger machine you have, pretty much like the better deal it is for customers. So our 80-pound washer, is a much better deal. You can do more laundry for the money than, say, our smaller 30-pound washers. So I was sitting there thinking, I'm like, if people, caught on, which is fine, that's the point of Laundromat, is to provide services for people, but if they realized the 80-pounders were cheaper, and then the bigger dryers are actually cheaper too if you load them up and use them how you should, getting new machines actually might decrease my revenue per customer if my customers were to use them, to their biggest advantage. Because that's the point. You do bulk, you save money, but hopefully they bring in more customers. That's why we got them. So we'll see how this all plays out. Now, we did definitely have a huge record. Was that 3 weeks ago? So that was a good sign. But since then, it's been a little down. So, man, it's an interesting business. It's still fun. I still enjoy it. This last week was much more enjoyable without people calling me nonstop about things not working right. And maybe it's just a weird week. But, yeah, actually, I did get one call this week, and someone said someone left like a pocket knife out on a washer. So, not an issue with the machines, thankfully, just a weird customer call. These are my big front ones I talked about, and they were very, very full after the weekend. Not nearly as full here. So, like I said, we did like more than twice as much business on the weekend than we did the entire week here. So we'll count it. We'll see what we've got. But interesting. I was not sure. We've had holiday weekends before where I thought we'd have almost no people come in, or really cold weekends where we thought we'd have no business, and we set records. And then we've had other times where we thought we'd have really good business, and we did awful. So maybe I just need to stop trying to predict what's going to happen. So this is the front bucket. I realized I forgot to go get my 80-pound quarters at the end, so I want to put those in the bucket with all the big machines, so I went back and got those. So I get those counted, and then putting them all in there, almost dumping my whole quarters everywhere. 25-12 from basically my big machines. And then this is all the rest of the small machines. I did get that little quarter trying to run away from me. And so we want to get at least over 5,000. We had just barely over 5,000 last week, which was disappointing. Our record is like 7,000 quarters, I believe. So I don't think we're going to get there, but I'm hoping we get, 5,500 would be really nice. That'd make me feel good. But anything over 5, I think, with the holiday weekend and Thanksgiving, is going to be fine. I did speed this up so you don't have to watch forever. Over 5, 51.89, not bad. Could always be better, but not bad. That's our one broken dryer. We've just had one broken dryer for like a couple months. It's so nice. Now I broke it, fried the motherboard by touching it with a key. I know, but that's been a good thing. Is having most of our dryers work, and that's really the bottleneck. Is our dryers. I've seen numerous times where all the dryers are going. They're all being used, but I've never been in there when all the washers are being used. And so we do have plenty of options now, especially with the bigger washers, for people to wash their clothes different ways. And if we keep all the dryers working, or at least almost all of them working, that's really what that can really be annoying to the customers if they can't have enough machines for what they need to do. So a lot of people have commented, oh, you're just catering to the poor, not catering, like exploiting the poor by having a laundromat. I'm like, nobody's forcing you to use a laundromat. You can use something else or buy a washer and dryer. But a lot of people think it's just poor people who don't have washers and dryers who use laundromats, and that is not true. There's a lot of people who do wash and fold who do laundry for other people who don't own a laundromat who use laundromats. We have a couple people who do that at ours. There's a lot of people who don't like doing laundry every week or every couple days, and they'll just save up all their laundry to do it at once and just bring in tons of laundry, and it's so much faster to do it with big machines than to do all of it in one small machine. So they'll use a laundromat to do that. A lot of people have, comforters or big thing blankets they want to wash, and it's much easier at the laundromat than trying to cram it in your machine at home. So lots of different people use laundromats for lots of different reasons. And even my wife used the laundromat a week or two ago because we had a big giant comforter. And she's like, it will take me probably 8 hours to do this at home, to get it all washed, to get it dried. And I'm like, take it to the laundromat, and it took her, I think, an hour, maybe an hour and a half to get it all done. So definitely an advantage besides just doing, not having a washer and dryer to using laundromats. All right, here's the dryer money. We'll see how it did. Seemed like quite a bit. So, I always say that, and it ends up being less. I don't think it's very much. It ends up being more. Again, I guess my estimation of quarters is not perfected yet. We're also coming up on almost a year of being in business, so we'll definitely do a video on that and kind of talk about the pros and cons of laundromats, what I've learned, lessons I've learned, all kinds of different things. There are also a lot of people, well, not a lot, maybe like one or two people last week who said I should be buying new machines. That's why they're breaking, and I can see that point of view. But the thing is, I know a lot of laundromats who buy new machines and they're financing because it's hundreds of thousands of dollars. If I got all new machines from my laundromat, it would probably be like $300,000 for them all. And they finance them, and they're making payments for 10 years. And I feel like all their profits are going to those payments almost. And then they're just hoping they have a few years left over before they get new machines again to make some money. And I just, I can buy used machines for 20, 30 cents on the dollar of new. And so if we have some issues and problems, I'm still okay buying used and fixing those problems, where you can buy used machines and have tens and tens of thousands of dollars or more left over to fix them. So I know there's two different theories on that. And I've talked to some other, I talked to another laundromat guy who's retooling his laundromat again, and he pretty much told me, he's like, yep, my first 10 years of buying new machines, I don't make much money. Then hopefully the next 10 years, we make quite a bit of money before we have to retool again and do it again. I was like, that seems kind of, I don't know. That's in real estate where I like to see a better profit margin than that. So I'll buy your used machines and make them work. And then, we'll have a few problems and issues to deal with, but we're having a lot more margin, a lot more profit going that route. But again, not saying my way is the best way. I'm not saying I know more than other laundromat owners because I'm fairly new to this. That's just my opinion of it so far. And maybe I'll change my mind in the future. Who knows? And maybe if I had a much bigger, larger laundromat, with a lot more people in it, maybe I would have a different opinion as well. So here we are going through our sales. And that was our record like 3 weeks ago. That was awesome. Great week seeing all those quarters come through. And then it's been a little disappointing since then. So this week was actually a little higher than last week, so that was good to see. Real similar to 2 weeks ago. Our cash was down a little bit. And our washers were down, or dryers, or no, our washers were up a little, dryers were up a little. So I feel like if we didn't have Thanksgiving, we would have had a really good week, probably over 2,000. So maybe next week will be a really good week. It's the start of the month. People are getting paid. Thanksgiving's done. No distractions. I guess we'll find out. Again, I've been wrong before, but this isn't the worst considering we had a holiday and I could see on the cameras almost nobody was there. All right. So that's the big laundromat, how we did. Our trend is still good. Our profit is still, our break even is still around $4,500 a month, so we're still making money. Be nice to make a lot more. And still fun to do videos there. We'll do the small laundromat tomorrow, and we'll see how it did with the holiday weekend. and talk about how our plans to sell it are going as well, because that is still the plan. And we'll be back with more videos on our flips, rentals, other businesses, possible new business I'm buying. A lot of things are going on right now.